Holy moly, I've actually made more than one video in a 1 week time span. I know, it's absolutely crazy. It's almost like a couple years ago when I first started doing YouTube and I was still in school. But now, I work all the time. But I do have more pocket money for us to go through. So let's jump right into it as we get into some searching. Some bill searching for stuff that's worth more than face value. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for subscribing or at least coming to check out the videos for me to bore the heck out of you or hopefully excite you as you look through your pocket money and hopefully find something worth just a ton of money you can retire and, go sail the seas or whatever it is. Sit around and look through more money. Let's start with a series 2009. A little bit older than the ones we normally start with, which is like 2013, 2017 series. Nothing to talk about as far as graphics on the bill, since they haven't changed in forever. So, first thing we're going to look at is the serial numbers. I don't see anything pattern-wise in those. We do have a little bit of a shift here, but like many other videos I make, unless it's really dramatic, I wouldn't call it collectible. This one's also really beat up, as you guys know, and you'll probably comment below. Condition is like 9/10 of the law when it comes to collecting stuff, unless it's just wildly valuable, like a #1 Silver Surfer or first appearance of the Hulk or whatever in the comic book realm. Vinyls and stuff like that, if it's all scratched up, of course, that's going to detract from value. Same thing goes for banknotes. This one's definitely been wet from the ripples you see through it, as well as the discoloration. That browning up here, generally from some sort of moisture on the bill. So nothing there. 2017 bill. Now, as you know from watching my videos, 2013s have a lot of over ink on the third digit, and I'll go a little quicker through these, but just to recap. 2017's just as common, so I wouldn't say they're really super collectible. As you can see, it's got that over ink here and here on both these fours. But you still want to look at the serial numbers, see if there's anything collectible or pattern-wise, fancy serial number on the bill, aside from that over ink that's real common. 2009 series also. Only difference in the bills for ones is the signatures, not anything graphically. Nothing's jumping out on the front there. A little bit of damage and a stain up here if there was anything going on, but nothing. $5 bill, definitely my favorite of the fives, except for old fives that aren't in circulation anymore, that are the larger face notes. Those are really neat. Check out VarietyErrors.com if you want to look at a gallery of different banknotes. But this series 2013 5 doesn't seem to have anything too stellar on it. So we'll just keep on keeping on. Now this is kind of interesting. I mean, just pops out almost instantly for me. Check that out. Not only is this G kind of printed small, but it's actually odometered up. I like to call it a ticker bill or odometer bill. As you can see, that last one and the G are sitting a little bit high there. Let's get that closer to the camera. Really like this newer camera. You can see a lot better. See, so that's what it's supposed to look like. As you can see, it's slightly off. Nothing crazy, though. The bill's in overall good condition. I'm going to hold on to it because it is neat. It's not massively dramatic, so I wouldn't say it's going to command much over face value, maybe a buck or two for having that ticker on the serial number here. But it is just $1, so I'm going to hold on to that bad boy. But moving on. Series 2013. I did look at the back of that previous bill. I didn't see anything on there. Got some crud on this bill. That's cool. Little bit of shift in the seal, but if it's touching this E here, it's not anything to call home about. No date notes, no birthday note, nothing like that, so nothing to talk about there. And no issues on the back around the Great Seal. Sometimes you'll get some blurring around the lettering here. Mostly you'll see it around these letters here up where it says Federal Reserve Note. That's really common just because of the amount of black ink that's used. Moving on. Series 2013 note. Still no crazy serial numbers as far as fancy serial numbers are concerned. Hopefully we'll come across something decent, but it is what it is. Got a little bit of ink pressed through here, but that's just from Washington's jacket on the front of the bill. And it's printed appropriately. Other things, of course, to look for is see if the bill is sitting all funky on the paper, if it's miscut or misaligned where you don't have a border, or it's a lack of border, rather. 2013 series notes, so another 2013 series. This one's probably, I mean, ink-wise, one of the clearest ones we've had so far in this search, but it's just a buck. Nothing in the serial number. Nothing hopping out on the back there. 2013 Series 5. So we do have a good mix of notes here. I actually had a little more pocket change than normal, so that's cool. Moving on up in the world with the extra 10 or 20 bucks there. But nothing on the front. This one's in pretty good condition too, despite this vertical fold here up the middle of the bill. Now, they only changed a few things around for the $5 notes. That's mainly for anti-counterfeiting measures. Fives are actually one of the more commonly counterfeited bills. They're smaller in face value and therefore not checked as readily by cashiers and stuff like that. So they're a very good bill to counterfeit for those that do that. Now, one thing I do notice on this one is there's a little bit of stray ink right there. But I know that's normally a portion of this design that is a little darker, but that is noticeable. But it could be simply something like a counter stamp or something like that, like some ink got on somebody's finger, so we'll move on. Now, this is another interesting kind of ink thing that we're on the subject. This is actually a lack of ink. So if you notice here, the serial number, the seal, and this serial number were actually not laid down entirely. So you are missing some ink in there. Now, the real question is would this command anything over face value? I wouldn't say it would, but it's a very good example of one that does have a lack of ink. Now, if you were missing more of a percentage of ink here, say this 6 was not very legible, you could tell maybe it's a 6 but barely, or it's not there at all, then you got something really, really nice to hold on to. But this is just a good example piece of something to keep an eye out for, and that would be a lack of ink error. And it's just that. It's just like the name implies, basically during the printing process, which is multi-phase, part of the ink did not get laid down. Moving on, though, I will hold on to that $10 bill. I think it's a good example specimen, so we'll hold on to that. Series 2013 $20 note. Nothing in the serial number, no crazy repetition. I've seen some really good ones on our Facebook group, Variety Errors Coin Collecting, and a couple people posted on there some really good banknote finds with some double quad repeaters and some triplet repeaters and stuff, and that's really cool. So check out the Facebook page, and we link over to the forum on VarietyErrors.com, so check that out as well. This $20 note doesn't have anything popping out, though, so I'm just going to keep on rolling. Ooh, I actually got 2 20s. Man, go get me a Subway sandwich or something. Anywho, this one's very folded up. Now, if this was a fold-over error, it would not be able to be pulled out. A fold-over error is simply when the bill gets creased on the sheet while in the printing process. And, of course, the print over on it leaves that crease there. Of course, this is just a folded bill. But if you have a fold-over error, you're looking at quite a bit of money over face value, so check that out, research those. Hopefully, you'll come across that. I don't personally have a fold-over error in my collection, although I have seen some in many of the coin shows that I go to. Getting down there. This one's a really beat-up $1 note, 2013. As you know, $1 notes have probably the least amount of life, so I won't beat a dead horse on that information, but basically they just don't last very long before they're pretty beat up. This one's got a little bit of a ballpoint pen mark. Now, one question to answer while looking at this is you can tell that there's a completely different, let me zoom in a little better. You can tell there's a little bit of a sheen to, now you can't tell, nothing, there we go. You can tell there's a little bit of difference in that color of black ink. So like if you look at the front of the bill, this type of tone of ink here is completely different than the one on the back. That helps determine if it's a mark from, a person or something outside of production, or if it's actually on the bill. Help you investigate when you find something that you're like, ooh, I have a bill worth like $7 million. Well, now you can kind of look at it a little bit. Also on our website, as well as many other sites, coinnews.net has one, the Copper Penny, stuff like that. Those websites have really good rundowns on how to tell post-mint damage with your coins and post-production damage with your bills. So check those out. Our last bill is a very nice $10 bill. It's a 2017, so it is newer. It's got a regular old fold from being in my wallet. Now, the serial number doesn't have anything in it, but the bill is very, very crisp, which is great if it was collectible in general. Same setup on the $10 bill as previous years, just with the change of that series number. And I love the degree of detail on the redesign notes. I think they're really well done. But nothing really to see here. This one's in great condition. So let's look at what we did hold on to. Like I said, this is more of just well, it's a little bit of a stray ink here, but more of a specimen to hold on to as an example of a lack of ink, something to look out for. And then the one that I definitely like holding on to is this one with this odometer G. It's also kind of small. It's just kind of a funky printed G here. So, odometer bill with the lettering on the end. Generally, you see it with the serial number numbers themselves. But hey, cool $1 bill. I'm going to hold on to it and add it to the old collection for a ticker bill. Let me know if you found anything more valuable in your bill searches lately, or just something really cool that you want to hold on to yourself. Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for coming to another video on Variety Errors, and check out VarietyErrors.com for all your currency questions and info. And our new book is out. Price guide, info guide, checklists. I mean, just all the things you need to know about collecting currency and finding rare currency in your pocket. So check out our new book, Turn Pocket Change into Profit, on VarietyErrors.com. Otherwise, have an awesome day. You are awesome people, and I will see you later.